When you gaze up to the sky, what do you see? Most of us see clouds, the sun, moon, and stars. But could there be more? According to NASA, there are approximately 200 billion galaxies in the universe, and each of these galaxies have innumerable stars and planets. Some of these stars and planets have the ability to sustain life, just like Earth. Is there a possibility that aliens are real? Hollywood would like us to believe that, of course. Judging from the vast number of movies that are released about space and aliens. In fact, some of the most popular, highest-grossing movies of all time are about aliens, including the Star Wars franchise, E.T., Alien, Avatar, and Independence Day. These films show aliens in many ways, as friend to man, and of course, as enemies. This is one of the things that make the concept of aliens so fascinating. Not knowing if they could help us or hurt us. Should aliens exist? It is likely that there are both helpful and harmful alien species out there, according to believers. But which race or species of aliens will reach us first? Or have aliens already come to Earth? Could they be watching us from afar, living among us right now as our friends and neighbors? Whether you believe in aliens or not, there is some interesting evidence out there that does support the notion that aliens are real. Here are the top 10 reasons they might be. Number 10. The ancients have left evidence. Ancient evidence of aliens. You are likely familiar with artifacts from the ancient people who trekked the land long before we came. Pottery shards, tools, bones, and more have been left behind over thousands of years. Artwork has also been left, of course, and some of this artwork depicts objects or figures that could be aliens. Across the globe, paintings, drawings, carvings, and markings have been left by the ancients, and all of them show the same thing. Aliens have been here. One of the strongest pieces of ancient evidence that show the high possibility of aliens visiting Earth is the painting, the Madonna with Saint Giovannino, which was done by Domenico Ghirlandaio in the 15th century. At first glance, this is a typical Madonna and child painting, but at further glance, there is a disc-shaped object in the upper right section of the painting. It looks exactly like a UFO. In addition to this, there is a strange figure in the painting that looks remarkably similar to what believers in aliens look like. There are also cave paintings that may depict aliens from around the world. Paintings found in France, Australia, Nepal, Mexico, Tanzania, and even North America show figures that are unlike the typical human figures that these cave painters normally draw. There are also objects seen in these cave paintings that look similar to objects we might associate with modern technology. These items, such as electric lights or handheld electronics, were certainly not invented thousands of years ago. Number 9. UFO sightings. People have seen aliens. Since the dawn of the modern age, there have been countless UFO sightings across the world. Most of these can conveniently be explained away by government officials or non-believers, but some of these UFO sightings are much more difficult to explain. One example of this is the 1853 UFO sighting at Burritt College in Tennessee. This sighting occurred as the sun rose and witnesses claimed that there were two strange objects in the sky. One of these objects was moon-shaped, and after it was sighted, it slowly grew smaller until it ultimately disappeared. The other object, which was star-shaped, grew larger and changed shape. For about 30 minutes, these two objects hung in the sky, changing size and shape and appearing and disappearing. At the time, some speculated that this was simply atmospheric moisture in the sky, but it largely still remained unexplained. Another more modern UFO sighting is the case of the Stephenville lights in 2008. In this example, there were more than 200 people who saw very bright lights in the sky over Stephenville, Texas. These lights made no sound, moved slowly, and then all at once moved quickly and disappeared. Many witnesses also claim that there were military planes following the lights, but local Air Force personnel denied this. However, it was later found that the Air Force wasn't exactly truthful, and that there were a number of F-16s in the air that night. Believers of alien existence claim that the Air Force was trying to cover up the existence of aliens, and even skeptics have a difficult time explaining away this lie. Number 8. Astronaut claims. Old friends, maybe? Astronauts are some of the most respected people in the country, and it takes many years of scientific, astronomical, mental, and physical training for one to become an astronaut. Most people would say that these people are heroes, and that they have a very scientific mind, for the most part. There are people who simply would not believe in something as fantastical as aliens, right? Not so fast. There are a number of astronauts who claim to have evidence of alien life, the most famous being Buzz Aldrin. As you might know, Buzz Aldrin was one of the first men to step foot on the moon. He is also one of the first astronauts to make a claim of a UFO, which he observed during the 1969 Apollo 11 mission. Aldrin says he saw flashing lights out of the side of the craft, and these lights moved along with them. Though he has shrugged off the lights as a reflection of the sun on a floating panel, many believe that he has been coerced by the government to say this. In addition to Aldrin, Edgar Mitchell, another Apollo program astronaut, has made several claims about aliens and the government cover-up surrounding aliens. Before his death earlier this year, Mitchell made several claims that UFOs and aliens are real, and he is a very credible source. Not only was he an astronaut, Mitchell also served in the US Navy, had a master's degree in aeronautical engineering, and he was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Dr. Brian O'Leary and Caddy Coleman are two other NASA astronauts who claim there is alien life out there. Number 7. Abduction stories. So many people assert they have been abducted can't be a coincidence. Starting in the 1970s, there have been thousands of claims of alien abduction stories from around the world. Believers in alien life claim that this is further proof of the existence of extraterrestrial races. After all, how could thousands of people from across the globe have similar stories of something that isn't true, according to the skeptics? One of the most well-known abduction stories comes from Betty and Barney Hill. The story from the Hills occurred as they drove back to their New Hampshire home from Niagara Falls. The couple saw a UFO in the sky, and they followed it for a while until the craft quickly descended. Barney Hill stopped the car near the craft, and both he and his wife witnessed aliens staring at them through the windows of the UFO. The UFO then rose into the air, lifted their car off the ground, and both reported the sound and feeling of buzzing before their memories became fuzzy. When the couple gained full consciousness again, they claimed they were 35 miles south of where they stopped and had no idea how they got there. They also claimed that both of them were wearing watches which were broken following the incident. Another famous abduction story is that of Travis Walton in 1975. Walton was a 22-year-old logger at the time and was getting a ride home with a group of co-workers after work on November 6th. The group spotted a large disc floating in the sky, and when the driver stopped to get a better look, Walton got out of the car and ran towards the object. He and his co-workers claim that Walton took a step back from the craft and a beam of light shot out at him. The group became frightened and drove away to call the police. Walton, however, was missing for 5 days, and when he appeared, was noticeably weak and thin while claiming abduction. Number 6. The Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines, so spooky right now. In the Nazca Desert of Peru, stretching for approximately 50 miles, you will find the famed Nazca Lines. These lines make up a series of geoglyphs comprised of more than 800 lines and 300 geometric shapes. And archaeologists believe that these glyphs were created at some point between 200 BC and 600 AD. These glyphs are so large that they can only be seen from above, and each glyph site has a high degree of electromagnetic energy when compared to the surrounding areas. There is no proof as to who built the lines, nor is it known what the function of the lines were. Many people, of course, believe that the lines serve as proof of aliens, especially because one of the glyphs looks like an astronaut. The lines that make up the glyphs are also very straight and have near-perfect shapes, which would have been near impossible for the ancient people to create. Number 5. The WOW signal. In 1977, at Ohio State University, a very strong narrow-band radio signal was picked up by researchers using a radio telescope. This telescope, which was part of the SETI project, was used to pick up any instance of alien communication, and in this case, it might have worked. On August 15th, there was a signal that was received from near the Sagittarius constellation, and it bore all the hallmarks of what is believed to be an extraterrestrial signal. The signal was not discovered for a few days, when later Jerry R. Amen, an astronomer, was reviewing the data. When he saw the data from the signal on the computer printout, he circled it and wrote "WOW" on the side of the paper, which is why this is now referred to as the WOW signal. The signal was transmitted for 72 seconds, and the same signal has not been heard or detected since, anywhere in the world. What does it all mean? There are various hypotheses as to the source of the signal, and for all intents and purposes, all natural signals from Earth have been excluded as possibilities. Even today, we still don't know anything more about the signal than we did in 1977, and the WOW signal is still a head-scratching phenomenon. In fact, on the 35th anniversary of the WOW signal in 2012, researchers at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico attempted to send a signal back to the possible alien senders. These messages consisted of more than 10,000 tweets from humanity, those who wanted to reach out to the aliens. Number 4. The Battle of Los Angeles. In February 1942, there were hundreds of reports to a Los Angeles Air Force base with claims of a UFO sighting. With the attack on Pearl Harbor still fresh in the minds of people in this area of the world, any movement in the sky was cause for concern. When the call came out that there was an object in the sky, an air raid alert was called. Searchlights combed the skies and anti-aircraft guns took aim at the object. However, these powerful guns didn't seem to make contact with the object, and witnesses reported to the LA Times that the bomb seemed to explode before hitting the craft. Believers of aliens claim that this is due to the UFO having shields. The Battle of Los Angeles is one of the most convincing arguments for the existence of aliens. The fact that an unknown object flew through the skies over Los Angeles in February 1942 is undisputed. Additionally, there were thousands of people who witnessed this object moving slowly over the skies. It is also true that the US military was involved in attempting to knock the object out of the sky. However, they did not succeed. The battle was only over when the aircraft slowly moved out of range of the anti-aircraft guns. This battle occurred long before people had the notion that a UFO would have alien origins. Instead, without proof, the US government simply inferred that the object was of Japanese origin. Number 3. Evidence from Mars. Did one of the Mars rovers capture evidence of alien life? There is already proven evidence from our neighbor, Mars, that water, the sustainer of life, is available on the red planet. However, this is not the only evidence from Mars that could prove the existence of extraterrestrial life. Those skeptics will often say that the life that could be dwelling on Mars is no more than microscopic bacteria. Those who believe in alien life claim that the aliens on Mars are much more human-like than we even realize. In fact, there are claims from astronauts and members of the military that there is much more to it than that, especially based on evidence from the Mars rover. One photo from the rover stands out among the others. This photo shows a shadow reflecting upon the surface of the ground, and in the shadow, a human-like figure can be seen. However, this humanoid is not wearing a helmet of any kind, and looks as if it is repairing the rover itself. Scientists, however, claim that this is simply a figment of the imagination. When viewing the picture, though, conspiracy theorists are not so sure, as it definitely looks as if it is a human-like figure with a backpack of some sort with hair. Whether this is a human or alien or simply a figment of the imagination is yet to be said, but it is compelling evidence that aliens could be real. Number 2. Consistent witness reports. People not only see aliens, they see the same ones. Still not convinced that aliens could be real? Think for a minute then, how thousands of people across the globe have reported witness reports of UFO and alien sightings with relative consistency. One area of consistency comes with the shape, size, and other characteristics of UFOs. There are 4 main groups of UFOs that people report, including flying discs, saucers, cigar-shaped objects, spherical objects, and balls of light. These reports are found worldwide and have been reported and noted since the 1940s. In addition to the consistency of the physical look of UFOs, there's also consistency about the physical shape of the areas of possible UFO landing sites. A report from 1968 from James Condon of the University of Colorado shows that grass, soil, and other vegetation in the area of these UFO landings were burned, broken, flattened, or even blown away. To add to this, a 1998 report from Stanford University not only describes the same, there is also evidence found that the vegetation in these areas have undergone a chemical change, which could have only been caused by radiation. However, there was no evidence of radiation on or around these sites. Finally, there is also consistent evidence from witnesses that there has been physical and mental evidence reported by those who have claimed to encounter UFOs or aliens. These include burns, memory loss, deafness, and nausea. People also report mental anguish, in some cases, and terrifying dreams of their time with alien beings. There are also consistent reports from hundreds that they have been forced to mate with the aliens or underwent medical experiments. Number 1. Evidence from Area 51 and Roswell. When most people seek out evidence of aliens on Earth, they immediately think of Area 51 and Roswell. Area 51 is a United States Air Force facility in Nevada, and Roswell, New Mexico is approximately 900 miles away from Area 51 and the site of a possible UFO crash. Both sites have strong ties to the concept of the existence of aliens. Area 51 is a top-secret facility that is one of the most, if not the most, secure facilities in the world. Because it is so secret, this has caused people to wonder what goes on here, and alien enthusiasts believe that experiments on aliens and alien technology, including aircraft, are studied here. This belief is perpetuated by claims of people who have worked for the facility and from people in the Air Force. Roswell is also a famed place for alien believers, thanks to an alleged UFO crash that occurred there in July of 1947. The crash was witnessed by a rancher and his son, who found metal debris and other objects that they were unfamiliar with. The rancher reported the incident to the sheriff, who then reported it to the local Roswell Army Air Force Base. The military immediately closed the area off and completely removed any and all evidence that the crash ever happened. This veil of secrecy and the accounts of the witnesses have led alien conspiracy theorists to believe that this was a UFO crash. This is further fueled by the fact that several people who worked at the airfield claimed that 3 alien bodies were brought into the site for examination. Conclusion: do aliens exist? We don't know. However, the odds that they do when looking at the vast number of planets and universes in existence are high. Proving their existence without a doubt, however, is difficult. The question that most alien believers ask, however, is what actually constitutes proof. Does a UFO have to actually land on the front yard of the White House? Does an alien visitor have to land in the middle of Times Square? Or is it simply enough to rely on eyewitness accounts or radar data? As with any controversial topic, there are people on both ends of the spectrum, and up to this point in history, there has been nothing definitive. However, approximately half of Americans believe in the concept of aliens being real. UFO and alien sightings are still common, though approximately 90% to 90% of these sightings can be attributed to other objects, such as weather balloons, aircraft, flares, or more. However, the 5 to 10% of sightings that are unexplainable keep the theories coming. The odds are good that aliens do exist in the universe, but if you are looking for definitive proof, it's not yet here. If you enjoy this video and want to see more like it, please consider subscribing to us and hitting the like button. Feel free to write a comment below and suggest which theory you want to see next. If you'd like to further support this channel, please consider joining. Our membership link will be found in the description box below. We appreciate your support, and as always, thanks for watching.